Welcome back. You're watching our coverage of the 16th edition of the Auto Expo right here at Greater Noida. Now, the intent towards sustainable mobility is pretty apparent right behind me, as you can see. Let's check out the electric vehicles on display.
The highlight of the BYD exhibit here at the Auto Expo is the BYD Seal sedan. Now, it is a four-door sedan. I think it looks a bit like the Porsche Taycan from the front and a Tesla from the rear. But I think it's a very good-looking sedan. So this will be launched in the fourth quarter of this year. It uses the same platform. It uses the same blade battery pack. It's got an 82 kilowatt hour capacity though. And it goes from 0 to 100 in 3.8 seconds. So it is a very quick car, just as quick as it looks. As for the wheels, you get 19-inch rims. Again, aero rims like what we've seen on the Atto 3. That 82 kilowatt hour battery pack is good for a range of almost 700 kilometers is what I'm told. So we will hopefully review this vehicle sometime this year. The other vehicle that's attracting a lot of attention is the Harrier EV. Very close to production, coming out real soon. Apart from the electric powertrain, it also looks different than the Harrier that we've seen. Basic theme remains the same. Yes, it carries forward the DRL in the brow and the headlight in the bumper arrangement, but like we saw on the curve, they are now going to go with a more compact design for the headlight because now manufacturing processes are better. They are able to get a finer design on this particular theme. This particular vehicle goes on sale in 2024. It's based on the Gen 2 electric platform for Tata, which means these are vehicles that were originally intended for ICE and then they were also electrified later. You'll also see in the front end that little box which sort of hints that there will be ADAS tech that is coming not just to the Harrier EV but also to the Harrier ICE. And because this is a Gen 2, the battery pack will not be the most optimized, but they're promising a 400 plus kilometer range. Let's also take a look at the rear. The horizontal light bar is there and there. I think this really looks good. So this is the Harrier EV. They're still in the process of finalizing what the battery specs should be. You can also see there are no door handles here. It says touch to open. And that is how it opens. This vehicle is coming out in 2024 in its production form. And before that will come the Harrier ICE with an updated face and updated equipment. We are now at the MG exhibit at the Auto Expo. You can see that's the image of the Hector. That's because they have revealed the pricing for the Hector facelift. But we are not here to talk about the Hector. We are here to talk about the MG4 hatchback. It's already attracting a lot of crowd here at the MG exhibit. It debuted in 2022. And now we are told that MG is considering this model for India. MG and their parents SAIC, they have a battery technology which they call the Rubik's Cube battery pack, right? So it's a very thin battery pack. Because of that, the designers are able to make this a really low car. It's got a center of gravity of 490 millimeters. I think the tail end is the prettiest angle for the car. The front end looks good too, but I really like how this spoiler comes out and the way the tail lights are designed. It all looks quite nice to me. It has two options. One is a single motor setup, and that's a rear wheel driven car, and that puts out somewhere around 200 PS of power if I'm not wrong. And then there is the all-wheel drive as well, which will put out 449 PS and go from 0 to 100 in under 4 seconds. That's quick, and with such a low car, that low center of gravity, it should handle really well. Since we already have someone sitting here, let me quickly just show you what the legroom is like, what the headroom is like. Does it look comfortable in there? Not bad. Right, so this is a hatchback, and what you will like about this vehicle is how low it is. So the battery pack for the higher end variants is a 64 kilowatt hour. There are multiple charging options available for the car, and the charging times for that battery pack are actually quite fast because it's capable of charging at 800 volts, and if that's the option that you choose, you can get, with 5 minutes of charging, 200 kilometers of driving range. 200 kilometers, right? So that's phenomenal. And then up to 80% of the charge can be 0 to 80% of charging can happen in a mere 15 minutes. So that's the MG4, and they are gauging the response of this car for the Indian market. But I have a very strong feeling that they're already convinced that they want to bring this car to India.
There are a few interesting concepts at the Auto Expo this year. Come right back after this short break to know more. Stay with us, you're watching Overdrive.
It is time.